Hello guys, welcome back to another chess video. This is Amit here, and today I'll be showing you all how a pawn promotes to the queen, and also I'll be showing you how opposition can be played using black as well as white. So, and also in the previous videos I have explained how the powers of the pieces are there and how you actually play and how they control over the board. So I have explained you all that. If you want to watch that video, please refer the description or the cards present at the top right. I'll be displaying it over there. So let's begin with the video. Consider the above position where white has 4 pawns on the 7th rank and black has just 1 pawn on the 7th rank. So here, in order to promote these pawns to the queen or knight or bishop or rook, you can actually push the pawn. It need not be necessary like if the pawn pushes to h8, then he has to only take a rook. If the pawn pushes to g8, then he has to only take a knight. But and also if pawn pushes to f8, then it is not necessary that he has to take bishop only, but he can actually take the queen, bishop, knight, or the rook, any of the pieces. So there can be multiple queens or multiple rooks or multiple bishops or multiple knights, but there has to be only one king. In this board there is no king because I am just showing you all how to promote the pawn to the queen or the bishop or knight or rook. So I am showing only that. So once you push the pawn to 8th rank, you can select either the queen or the rook or the bishop or the knight. So here I have taken the queen, and now if it promotes to d8, then you can take the knight. And also here if he pushes, now it's black's turn, so he may play any other move. Then f8, then he can take the bishop, and g8. Now again if I play some random move, now to g8, he can actually take up the rook, and now again I'll play some random move, then h8 you can take the queen. So this way the pawns are promoted, and after this promotions I will show you all what is opposition. So opposition is when we have only 2 kings on the board. Here consider white king is here and black king is here. So in this position opposition doesn't matter because there is only one king for either side, so it's not going to be winning for any of the piece. So it's black's turn to move. So how should black continue? The only way black has to continue is he has to try to control the come towards the center of the board. Now if it's black's turn, now he has to make the move king to a7. Now if it is white's turn, then he has to try to prevent the black from coming towards the white's board. So if it is, now if you consider if black comes towards white side, then it's victory for black. If you consider like that, then actually black has to make a opposition. Opposition is something which is maintaining odd number of squares between either of the king or kings during the end game. So odd number of squares is here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 squares. So it's odd number of squares. Now it's white's turn to move. The person who has to move when he has the odd number of squares at the center is likely to lose the end game. So now if it is white's turn, then he can move to b2. So here he moves to b2. Now if it's black's turn, we should not move it to b7 because in the center here there will be 4 squares, so you will lose the opposition. So he has to play it to b6. Now it's 3 squares, so opposition is still in the place. Now if it is he plays here, now he can come. Now it's white's turn. He cannot move further forward towards the edge of the board, so he has to move it to d3. So now black can come to b4, and before white moves to d8, black can actually cover the b2. Now here, then he will be able to reach the first square first before the white. So it's if it is white's turn, then he can also maintain the opposition. Let me show you. Okay, now it's white's turn to move. If white has to move, then he has to play his king to a2, because there it will be odd number of squares. Then black has to give away the square, because if he moves to b8, then he has to maintain opposition, so he has to come to b2. Now if he moves to c8, then he can move forward. Now black has got the opposition, so now here, then black comes here. But here in this process, white actually moves towards the black's king side. So the person who has the opposition, now he comes to c2, then white will actually cover the last square. So it goes that way. So he maintaining the opposition is a necessity. So here actually the pieces are in opposition, but actually in this position it doesn't matter, because only two kings are there. But if pawns are there, then maintaining the opposition is necessity. The person who has to leave the opposition will actually lose the game. So now he has to move to b8 in order to maintain the opposition. But if he moves to b8, then white has two moves extra, so he will be two squares up, and black will be lagging. And now b3, then here. Now if he comes here, then he has to come to c6 in order to maintain the opposition, so that he doesn't allow the white king to enter the black's camp. So he has to play like that. But now if it's white's turn, he can actually maintain opposition by playing king to a2. Now it's black's turn. Now if he comes here, then he can straightforwardly move upwards. If he doesn't want to move his king upwards and he wants to maintain the opposition, then he has to move to b2. Now here 5 squares are in the middle, so now it is black's turn. He has to play his king to c8, then king comes to a3. Now we are already 2 moves ahead of black, so he cannot come to opposition. Now if he comes here, then again we maintain the opposition, white maintains the opposition. So if he comes this side, then again you move upwards. Then if he comes here, then again you maintain the opposition. 1 square, 1, 3, 5 squares in between are useful in the opposition while maintaining the opposition. Whoever has to leave the opposition will obviously lose the game, because now there is only 2 moves and black has to move plenty of squares. So this is where opposition helps in order to win. And let me show you another diagonal opposition. Diagonal opposition is when the white king is here and black king is here, then it's called diagonal opposition. But how to maintain the diagonal opposition? It is similar. Now if it is black's turn to move, he maintains a diagonal opposition, because here 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 squares are there in between. Now white has lost an opposition. So here and here he is losing it. So he has to come here. Now black doesn't go to d5. Instead he goes to f4, and it's easy game for black. He has the opposition and he will be able to win the game. If he comes here, then it's going to be a mistake, because he will fall into white's idea. So he has to move to h2, then f2, and he can actually come to h1 square. So this is called diagonal opposition. When the kings are in the opposite corners, then you have to maintain 5 squares in the diagonally 5 squares. So yeah, today, in order to revise what all we learned today, first is the pawn promotion, basic pawn promotion, and the next is the king opposition. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, please try to support my channel by liking, and if you are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, in the next video I'll be bringing more such training videos. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.